All right, welcome everyone. Ready for another deep dive. Today we're tackling something pretty interesting, I think.
Yeah.
A Christian approach to nutrition.
Interesting stuff.
And we're going way beyond just like, diet tips and tricks, right? We're diving deep into this source.
Yeah.
What are the practical applications of a Christian approach to nutrition in daily life? And, it's all about how faith can really change the way we think about food and even transform those everyday meal times.
Yeah.
I think this will be good. I think listeners can get a lot out of this.
Me too.
So are you ready to maybe have your meal times totally transformed?
Let's do it.
All right, let's jump in.
Okay.
So the source really kicks things off by emphasizing this idea of gratitude.
Yeah.
Like really
Yeah.
starting each meal with a prayer. Not just a quick, bless this food kind of thing.
Right.
But an actual moment of reflection,
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think about that?
Well, it makes a lot of sense to me.
It's about consciously acknowledging, where our food comes from. And in the Christian tradition, that goes beyond just thanking the farmer or the cook,
Right.
It goes all the way back to recognizing God as the ultimate provider,
Wow, yeah.
the source of all nourishment.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's about connecting to something bigger than ourselves, even in the everyday act of just eating.
Absolutely.
That's really
Yeah. And what's interesting is that this attitude of gratitude,
cool. Yeah.
it's not just good for the soul.
Yeah.
It can actually have a real impact on the body.
Really?
Yeah. When we approach our food with thankfulness, it can actually aid digestion and increase our enjoyment of the meal.
So we're talking about a mind-body-spirit connection. All happening right there at the dinner table.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, so we're starting with prayer.
Okay.
What comes next?
Well, the source kind of guides us towards choosing whole, unprocessed foods. Those that reflect God's natural creation, it says.
Yeah, I like that.
It's about honoring the body as a temple, a gift from God,
Yeah.
by nourishing it with the bounty of the earth.
It's interesting, it reminds me of all those eating clean trends you see everywhere these days.
Oh, for sure.
It's fascinating how ancient wisdom, aligns with those modern wellness movements.
Totally.
Yeah.
And if you look back at the Bible, we see examples of this kind of thing throughout Scripture.
Okay.
From the Garden of Eden, where, Adam and Eve were given fruits and vegetables to eat,
Right.
to the Israelites receiving manna in the wilderness.
Right.
The emphasis is always on simple, natural food.
So it's not just about following the latest fad diet.
Yeah.
It's about returning to a way of eating that's, deeply rooted in tradition.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got gratitude, whole foods. What else?
Yeah.
What else does a Christian approach to nutrition involve?
Well, next up is the idea of self-control, particularly around portion sizes. I know this can be a bit tricky for some people because, it sometimes gets misconstrued as restriction and denial.
Yeah, I can see that, especially in our culture that's so obsessed with cheat days
Right.
and instant gratification.
Exactly.
But this source, it seems to be suggesting something different, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not about deprivation at all.
Yeah.
It's about respecting our bodies and, savoring the gift of food without overindulging. Think of it this way. When we eat just enough to feel satisfied,
Yeah.
we can truly appreciate the flavors and the textures of each bite.
Right.
It's about finding that sweet spot where,
Yeah.
enjoyment meets moderation.
It's about being present and mindful.
Yes.
Not just, mindlessly shoveling food in your mouth.
Exactly.
Which, I'm guilty of sometimes.
Oh, we all are.
Yeah, for sure.
But that actually leads perfectly into the next point from the source.
Okay.
Mealtime as an opportunity for fellowship.
Yes, I love that.
This is deeply rooted in Christianity, you
Yeah.
know? Think about Jesus sharing meals with his disciples, breaking bread together,
Right?
using those moments to connect, to teach, to build community.
For me, some of my fondest memories involve sharing meals with loved ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's just something really special about gathering around a table, laughing, telling stories,
Yeah.
enjoying good food together.
It's the best, right?
Yeah.
It's about making mealtime more than just like, fueling up. It's about nourishing our souls as well as our bodies.
I love that.
And it's backed up by science, too.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Studies show that shared meals can strengthen relationships, reduce stress,
Oh, wow.
and even improve like overall well-being.
So we're talking about a holistic approach to eating.
Yes.
One that considers the social and emotional aspects
Yeah.
as well as the physical.
That's right.
This is really resonating with me.
Correct.
Now, another point that really stood out to me in the source was this idea of listening to our hunger and fullness cues.
Oh, yeah. That's a big one.
I admit this is something I really struggle with sometimes.
It's hard.
I often eat out of habit or boredom rather than true hunger,
Yeah, yeah.
How about you?
I'm the same way. It's a common struggle,
Yeah.
especially in our fast-paced world where we're always on the go.
Yeah.
But learning to tune into those internal signals,
Yeah.
that's really essential for a healthy relationship with food.
Okay.
It takes practice, but it's about slowing down,
Mm-hmm.
paying attention to our bodies,
Okay.
asking ourselves, am I truly hungry? Or am I eating for some other reason?
So much of this is about awareness, isn't it?
It really is.
It's about bringing intention to our eating habits
Yeah,
instead of just running on autopilot.
exactly.
And speaking of intention, the source also emphasizes, the importance of seeking balance,
Mm-hmm.
not perfection,
Right.
in our food choices,
Yeah.
which I think is so crucial.
It is a Christian approach to nutrition,
Yeah.
It's rooted in grace and self-compassion.
Okay.
It recognizes that we're human.
Right.
We're not going to make perfect choices all the time.
Yeah.
It's about striving to make healthy choices most of the time while also allowing ourselves some flexibility and grace.
Yeah, that's a much more, I think, sustainable and realistic approach
Definitely.
than striving for some unattainable ideal.
For sure.
It's about progress, not perfection.
I love that.
And that leads us to the final point from the source,
Okay.
which is maybe the most profound,
All right.
reflecting on our food choices in light of our faith.
Ooh, that's deep.
I know, right?
Yeah. This is where it all comes full circle.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
about taking a moment to consider not just what we're eating, but why. We might ask ourselves, does this food nourish my body and soul?
Wow.
Does it align with my values,
Yeah,
Is it a responsible use of the resources God has provided?
that's powerful.
Yeah.
It really transforms the act of eating into something so much deeper, more meaningful.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that even our simplest daily choices,
Yeah.
what we put on our plate,
Right.
can be an expression of our faith, a way to connect with the divine.
So to recap, I guess a Christian approach to nutrition is so much more than just a diet plan, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's about cultivating gratitude, honoring our bodies with whole foods, practicing self-control,
Yeah.
sharing meals with loved ones,
Yeah.
listening to our body's cues, embracing balance and grace.
It is.
And ultimately, it's about seeing food as a gift from God
Yeah.
and a way to nourish not just our bodies,
Right.
but our souls as well.
Food for thought, indeed.
It really is.
How might applying these principles transform, not only your relationship with food,
Yeah.
but also your overall sense of well-being and, connection to something greater than yourself?
That's a wonderful question to ponder
It is.
as we kind of finish our deep dive today.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Until next time.
See ya.